Welcome back, Scrafters. We are back. We are on Port Alexander for a round 2 game. In the top left, as the Terran, we have Jet in the pink as well. That's quite nice. And in the bottom right, as the yellow Protoss, it's Eli. Now, what's going to happen? This probe, doing a bit of a goofy walk around, preparing to place the pylon. Okay. That comes to supply depot, and workers constantly in production. So yeah, at this stage of the tournament, this is what you hope to see, right? People are building workers, and people are, you know, not building double supply depot or double pylon. You know, I'm wanting to see a gate come down. There it is. Yep. And once this finishes, I'm going to want to see, yeah, comes the barracks. Yeah, this is nice. Okay. So clearly, this stage of the tournament, a lot of the more goofy stuff has gone. Gas is going to come down for the Protoss. I imagine we'll be seeing that momentarily. Yeah, okay, here it comes. For the Terran. What to say about Port Alexander? Well, look, there's a little boat. That's cool. Terran boats look funky, don't they? There's like a crane. And, station. Look at that. It says station. What else we got? Well, easy? What is Jet saying? Jet, what are you saying? Why did you say that? Why did you say easy? I don't understand. Well, here comes the side core for the Protoss at an appropriate time. Meanwhile, the Terran is building nothing but a reactor. Please at least build a worker or something. You haven't saturated your main... Okay, there it comes. And the expand's going to come down. Okay, so this is a pretty normal time for an expand for the Terran. And we're also going to be seeing the reactor before Marine. And an orbital commander. I like to have a Marine out before reactor, but I think this is okay, technically. If you know your opponent's not going for anything spooky. Now, you don't know that, but, you know... You're lucky. They're not sending anything over. There's just this zealot shitting on the ramp. Warp gate in production. Well, 2 Marines in production for the Terran. Very straight up stuff. We're going to have a Stalker in momentarily. We're going to have to see what tech options we get from both players. At the moment, none of them have really shown their hand to me, let alone their opponents. I don't think any scouting's been done either. The Twilight Council are going to come down. Speaking of tech options, it looks as though it's going to be... some upgrades, these probably charge, and then maybe we'll see, you know, a Templar Archives and some Templars, but we're going to have to see for that. Maybe we'll see a Dark Shrine. It all depends. As for the Terran, the factory hasn't come down yet, and it really should have, I think. I don't understand why the factory isn't built yet. You can't tech up if you don't build your factory. And yeah, unless you plan to win on barracks units, which, you know, kind of missed the mark on that. Second barracks comes down now. Like, that could have been a factory. Should have been a factory. Okay, the expand's going to come down with the Protoss now, quite substantially later than the Terran. So the Terran's going to have a big economic lead. But, that being said, worker count is even. So, you know. Once this starts being saturated with workers, though, there'll be a momentary lead. I like the Terran Marines in pink. I think that's quite nice. And yep, as I said, here it comes. There's a Templar Archive. So we're going to see Templars. If Eli gets Templars and researches Storm, then Marines will just be mulched. Especially Marines with no upgrades. There's no combat shield. There's no combat shield, and there's no stim. But with this tech lab, that might be about to change. As for the Protoss, there's Dark Shrine coming down as well. Very inactive game. Not much seems to be happening. No early aggression. Both players just playing a straight up macro game. But one of them forgot to tech up, so that's going to put them at a big disadvantage in the late game if that's what they want to play for. They do have a substantial economic lead, though. They are, in fact, using mules on cooldown, so that's good. This bunker's going to be full of Marines. I mean, this will defend you from anything early, but it won't defend you from an Oracle flying in the back. And yet, here it comes. Right? Storm is in production, and the Stargate's also going to come down. Not sure what the Stargate's going to be for, but we do know that this Storm, plus some Templars, just gonna rip through some Marine. Now you could have built more gates if you wanted to go that. Yeah, here it comes. Okay, here comes the gate. Then you can warp in more. Templars, and you can, you know, unleash storm hell on the opponent. The engineering bay, we're gonna finish up for the Terran. We're gonna have to see if any upgrades come out of that anytime soon. Combat shields began production as well, so it looks like these Marines will be stim and combat shield. And well, there is a substantial army lead for the Terran. If they were to move out when these finish, it could be pretty ugly. We're gonna see the factory come down now. Oh my god, this song is a banger! Why does it go so hard? Like, why? I need to see a Dark Templar finish up. I want to see where that goes. It looks like there's a Marine move out on the map, and this is a substantial army supply lead, so it looks as though the Terran just could potentially win the game here. Like, this is enough Marines to kill all of this, but that being said, they are dying to the Invisible Man because no scan comes down. Do they have the energy for a scan? Yes, they do. They could have scanned this and won the game, but instead, they let all their Marines die to this Invisible Man who now has 10 kills. If you see your Marines dying to something like that, please scan them. You could have won the game, I think, with that much of a lead, but you didn't. So, you know, you didn't scan him, so he just killed everything. The attack was also poorly timed. At least wait for Stim to finish, right? Like, don't go in just before your upgrade's finishing. That's literally the worst possible timing you could have chosen. But that's okay. Starport gonna come down, and we're gonna see a reactor on the factory. Whether that means Hellions or whether it means mines will be able to be seen. These guys are gonna come down, but there's no vision of this. You're gonna have to drop a scan. Drop a scan, please. Okay, so rather than dropping a scan, Jet has opted to place a missile turret to try and see the Invisible Man, which, I mean, look, provided they don't stop you from doing that, that will work, but also everything here, or a lot of things here, will die before it finishes. Okay, now they're going to go down when they have a substantial number of kills each. If you look at the units lost tab, oh my word, look at that. That was just completely unnecessary. One scan earlier in the game and you would have completely prevented this. Yes, the turret gives vision, but, like, come on. You can get it faster and cheaper than just placing it. Actually, it probably would be work out more expensive because of mules, but, you know, just... That's one way to get vision, and it's the slowest way to get vision, so I don't know why you picked this. You should have scanned that. Anywho... as it is, a small Protoss force is on the move. You should probably wait until... Yeah, okay, good, you're waiting. They should be able to see this. Yeah, they do see this, but I guess they're not paying enough attention to the minimap to see this. These Templars with Storm are going to come, and if they come with Storm, this thing's going to put its thing on mode. But against Marines, that's completely useless, because, you know... And snowstorms are used, so everything here dies after the stim. Okay, well that was disappointing, wasn't it? Those storms could have done a lot of damage there, but, you know, wasn't used. So, that's very disappointing. I'm very sad to see that. Now there's nothing in production for the Protoss, but a spike in production for the Terran. But both of you have a substantial mineral bank, so both of you could be producing things much, much faster. There's a third base up and running with a bunch of mules here, that's great. Like, you know, Eli, a third base from you. In fact, you were doing quite well at the start, but then, you know, you just stopped producing things, and, well, if you stop producing things, you're gonna lose. Down comes a Nexus. I'm not quite sure what took this so long. You had the money. This probe gonna, do some long-distance mining. More Templars. Again, a couple well-placed storms would kill this. But, you know, you haven't used it yet, which is very, very disappointing. Look at these guys. They're like metal. They're so cool. I really like Marauders, right? I think they look really cool. They have grenade launchers for arms, right? Is that cool? I think that's really, really cool. What's this? This is a medevac. This medevac is going to be dropped in the main base of the Protoss. We're going to have to see what the response is. The Forge is going to come down. Here comes the drop. There's still an Invisible Man there. Okay, here comes the drop. Gonna target the Dark Shrine, in the looks of things. Momentarily confused. Has our good friend reacted to this? They are now. Eli is going to be marching the Protoss army up the ramp. There goes the Dark Shrine, so no more invisible men. But here comes the Protoss army, which is now of a reasonable size. And oh, the storm. That's going to get a lot of the stuff. You could have just picked this up with a medevac, but instead you chose to let everything die. You're all going to sit in the storm. Don't damage your own units of storm. That is a thing that can happen. Try and avoid it, please. If we look at the units lost have now, it's more even because of the unfavourable trade the Protoss had earlier. See how, like, the number of units is very different? Like, Protoss stuff is a lot more expensive. Anywho, so it looks as though there's going to be a scuffle in the middle of the map. Some Protoss stuff is taken down. This Invisible Man's going to have a little nibble at his Terran army. And this Protoss force, this Void Ray, is going to take some pot shots and some stuff. It's not going to win this fight, though. The Marine Stim and it's just absolutely demolished. Here come the Invisible Men being baited back into the vision range. And, well, it just looks terrible now. Now the Terran is substantially ahead. And, you know, if they pushed out with this, they would probably just win. The Stim, yeah, the boys are gonna kill. Oh, the Storm is gonna, oh my god. How many Marines just died? I don't think it matters, but, oh, that was, oh, that was messy. Like blood on the floor. Yeah, man, that was, please transfer some workers, please. Anywho, looks like there's going to be an Invisible Man attacking... No, not Invisible Man, just some Zealots. Yeah, they're going to die. They are charge lots, but, you know, against this. Even got a tank here, look at that. This is a game-ending force compared to what your opponent has. You're approaching... You double their army supply. Like, and they're producing nothing, and you're still producing things. So, you know, some charge lots going to go... I do like this use of charge lots, but... When this building can fly, and there is a Terran army on the map, I don't think it's going to do you much good. This is going to fall, though, because Jet forgets that their buildings can fly, and it's also going to supply cap them. But that's okay. Supply block them, that's okay, because they can just build more depots, or, you know, build another base with their ridiculous amount of money in the bank. And gas, for that matter. Both players have a substantial mineral bank. This isn't a game of being the richest person. It's a game of being, you know, the best. And money isn't everything, you know. Money is only something you can turn it into stuff. A momentary lull. I guess they just realised they've been supply capped because of supply blocked because of the loss of the base, which is going to should in theory give the Protoss time to build some more stuff. But instead they're building probes and very little else. Something like that. Here comes the Terran army. I imagine this is a game-ending force. Like, it doesn't look as though there's much the Protoss can do about this, unless they get some really, really well-placed storms, which I don't think is going to happen. Here come the Marines. Here comes a Stim, but the Storm going to kill so many Marines, but I don't think it matters at this stage. The tank's going to do so much damage to these Templars, and yeah, there goes the entire Protoss army. So many Marines died, but it just doesn't matter. The game is going to end right here. And here comes a warp in of about, what, several Invisible Men. So unless a scam comes down, which there is energy for, you know, they do currently just get mauled by the Invisible Men. Just put a scan down, man. Scan! Scan! You win if you scan! Oh, here comes the scan, but it's too late. Alright, there are tanks here. Which, you know... yeah, the tanks see it for a little bit. Okay, then here comes the scan, and some of them will die, but they are going to get both the tanks. Army supply is still heavily in favour of the Terran. They have the tools to end this game, they just aren't using them in conjunction at the right time. They seem to have the idea, but they're not... The execution's not quite there yet, but, you know, Jet's close, and I imagine shortly... Was that a dog barking? Did you guys hear that? Or was that just me? Okay, some Invisible Men. Gonna give these guys a little bit of a trim. The scan comes down. There they go. Okay, they picked up on that at least. More Invisible Men being sent in. But these Invisible Men can be seen because of these turrets. Oh, a singular Phoenix gonna get shot down by this turret. These guys gonna come for the workers now. These extra Marines gonna come down and shoot down the invisible men, presumably. These guys just gonna walk past and let their friends die as if nothing's happening. Man, this is miserable, isn't it? These invisible men are getting so much value. Why are you shooting in melee range? You could have kited them. And yet they're gonna go for the turrets. Meanwhile, the Terran army's gonna push into the main base of the Protoss. And yeah, there goes the Void Ray. And I imagine, hopefully, there goes the game. That being said, a lot of damage being done here by the Protoss. But a lot more damage being done here. Look at the APMs of the Terran. Oh my god. Alrighty, what's going on over here? Well, this base will fall. But, you know, the main base of the Protoss is falling now. And there's probably enough stuff here. Look, they're smart. They're building up their army before going down to fight. And now they think they can take the fight. They drop the scan, and the Marines come down the ramp, and will presumably win this fight. Yeah, okay, fantastic. And we're going to see a Terran victory as a result of that. Well played by both players at the start, and Jet was able to play into the endgame quite a lot better there. They just built more stuff, really. And, well, as we know from many games in this tournament, more stuff beats less stuff. It's 1-0 to Jet. GG.